little bum. Hold the little foot. There we go. I know he's hungry. Nothing is gonna make you happy until you kiss on me. I know, honey.
Gypsy. Damn it, Gypsy. So much for not showing our baby. What the hell was that? Your whole ass showed her face.
Got some cute smiles.
And she has the most beautiful eyes. Like,
Yeah,
she
she's
has,
got
like,
blue
this
eyes, which
little
is
look
interesting because I got green and Gypsy got brown.
After last night, Gypsy Rose was live. If y'all believe that that baby is not afraid of her, fight me. Because I'm telling you right now, every time Gypsy was holding that baby was screaming and looking around for Ken. Y'all keep saying, let that girl be a mama. But if a baby is constantly crying when you're holding it, but when the baby is with someone else, they're not crying and you're the bio mom, listen, a baby could spot evil from a mile away.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is back in the headlines, and this time it's for breaking the one rule she swore she'd never break: exploiting her baby on social media. After repeatedly promising her fans she'd keep her daughter Aurora off the internet to protect her privacy, Gypsy just accidentally flashed the baby's face during a TikTok live. And when called out, she didn't apologize. She went full defensive mode, spinning excuses, dragging her baby daddy into the mess, and even clapping back at wild paternity rumors. So, is this just another case of Gypsy being messy, or is there something deeper going on here? Buckle up, because this story is about to get juicy. Gypsy has spent months preaching about keeping Aurora away from the spotlight, insisting she'd never post her child for clout. But, in true Gypsy fashion, that promise went out the window the second it became inconvenient. During a recent live stream, Aurora's face was clearly visible, and her fans immediately called her out. Instead of owning up, Gypsy hit back with a flimsy excuse. We don't stop being parents just because we're on live stream. When a follower suggested she could, step away from the camera to tend to her baby, Gypsy doubled down, claiming Aurora's needs are unpredictable because she's 3 months old and going through a growth spurt. Cue the collective eye roll from the internet. But wait, it gets messier. One bold commenter accused Gypsy of posting photos of a different baby, insinuating that Ken Urker might not even be the father. Gypsy snapped back, declaring that a court-ordered paternity test confirmed Ken's dad status. But here's the thing. Why is she even entertaining these rumors? Some of her fans think it's all a calculated move to prove she still has custody of Aurora, especially after rampant speculation that Child Protective Services stepped in. And honestly, the way she's suddenly parading her baby online does feel suspiciously like overcompensation. Let's be real. Gypsy's track record with the truth isn't exactly spotless. She's flip-flopped on her own abuse claims, changed her story about her mother's murder, and now she's doing the same with her parenting choices. One minute, she's the protective mom shielding her child from social media. The next, she's using Aurora as a prop to win online arguments. And let's not forget her bizarre AI-generated video exposing YouTuber Flawless Nina, proof that Gypsy is obsessed with controlling the narrative, even when it backfires. The backlash is real, and it's growing. People aren't just calling out her hypocrisy, they're questioning her motives. Is this a case of a traumatized woman struggling to navigate fame? Or is Gypsy Rose playing the victim yet again to dodge accountability?
But if a baby is constantly crying when you're holding it, but when the baby is with someone else, they're not crying and you're the bio mom, listen, a baby could spot evil from a mile away. Okay? Y'all gonna get in here and talk about let her be a mom. Then she unalived her mom for sausage. Did you not see that she been lying since the age of 6, telling her mom that she didn't have any feeling in her legs? And y'all saying to trust her? She admitted that she lied in court documents. But y'all out here playing. She used a man with autism and a low IQ, collecting a permanent disability check, and y'all saying let her be a mom? If she used the disabled, what do you think she would do to a kid? Let it click. Let it click.
Gypsy went live while her new Lifetime show was airing, leading some to believe this was a network-ordered move to boost ratings. Now, on its own, that's not necessarily an issue, but considering Gypsy has been vocal about wanting to keep her baby private, people found it strange that she suddenly had her daughter on camera. Critics argue that if Lifetime really required her to go live, she could have done it alone while Ken cared for the baby off-screen. Instead, it seems like she made a calculated decision, one that now has people questioning her priorities. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A viral Facebook post broke down her response to the backlash, pointing out a peculiar detail. Gypsy repeatedly used the word "we" when explaining why her baby was on the live stream. She said things like, "We need to be available to cater to her needs, and we don't stop being parents just because we're on a live stream." And that's raising eyebrows for two reasons. First, it seems like she's shifting responsibility onto Ken, rather than taking full accountability for breaking her promise to keep their daughter off social media. And second, this is the part really bothering people. She's framing it as if her baby's needs forced her to go live, which some see as subtly placing blame on her child. Now, whether or not Gypsy meant it that way, the internet has already decided she fumbled this one. Her fans are torn between thinking she's just overwhelmed as a new mom and believing she's making reckless choices to prove a point. Whether that's proving she still has custody, proving she's still with Ken, or just proving her daughter isn't a reborn doll. Yes, that's an actual conspiracy. Either way, this whole situation is giving PR disaster, and something tells me this won't be the last time Gypsy's parenting decisions have people talking.
Baby shark.
I wonder if Ken knows she did this. Like, what would Ken be thinking knowing his daughter is now exposed online?
The thing is that there's another clip. I'll see if I can find it. If I can't, I can't. And he's trying to put the blanket over the baby's face a little bit to hide the baby's face. So he's trying to be a little bit more cautious. That's what I feel. Yeah. He's trying to be a little bit more cautious. That's the way I read it. I have to watch it again, though, to make sure.
I wonder if they've had arguments about this, because I reckon he would be like, Gypsy, don't put the baby on camera anymore. And, Gypsy, she's very stubborn. She's like, no, I want my baby on there.
A viral Facebook post is tearing apart her recent actions, accusing her of manipulation, hypocrisy, and even exploiting her own baby for fame. Are these just baseless accusations? Or is the public finally seeing through Gypsy's carefully crafted image? Buckle up, because this breakdown is about to expose some disturbing truths you won't see anywhere else. Before we get into it, let's be crystal clear. These aren't my opinions. These claims are coming straight from a fiery Facebook discussion where users are dissecting Gypsy's every move, and honestly, the evidence they've laid out is hard to ignore. From questionable parenting choices to suspiciously calculated behavior, this post paints a damning picture of Gypsy's true intentions. So let's dive in and break it all down. Fairly, but unflinchingly. First up, let's talk about Ken's role in all of this. Because according to this Facebook post, he's not as innocent as he seems. Gypsy has repeatedly claimed that live streaming is her only way to make money, yet she insists keeping her daughter off camera is impossible. But here's the catch. When Ken joined one of her recent live streams, Gypsy suddenly stepped away to feed her baby, proving she can prioritize her child when it suits her. And Ken, instead of taking over baby duty off camera, he stayed put, happily soaking up the attention. So what's really going on here? Is this just a case of bad judgment, or are they both milking the spotlight at their daughter's expense? But that's not even the most disturbing part. Facebook users have noticed a chilling pattern in how Gypsy is gradually exposing her baby to the internet. It started with just a tiny limb or a blurred background shot. Innocent enough, right? But then came the quick glimpses of her baby's head. Then a trip to the store. And now, full side profiles. This isn't accidental. It's a classic desensitization tactic. And if this trend continues, a full face reveal is inevitable. So let's ask the hard question. Is this really about sharing her motherhood journey? Or is it about engagement and keeping herself relevant? And then there's Gypsy's wordplay, something the Facebook post brutally calls out. When she wants sympathy, it's, "I'm doing my best." But the second she's criticized, suddenly it's "we," a subtle way to shift blame. Sound familiar? It's the exact same script she used after prison, when she painted Nick Godejohn as the sole villain in her story. Now, fans are demanding answers.
I watched the new Gypsy Rose season this morning while I was working out. I don't know why. I guess it's self-hatred or something. But why the hell is Ryan better than Ken? And I didn't like Ryan. But Ken, what a dick. The man ain't cute. He has like the crappiest, cringiest personality. He's rude to her constantly, controlling. Like he's everything that she says she doesn't want. That first episode, I was sitting there like, please, please let that be Ryan's baby. You do not want to be stuck with this man for like 18 plus years. Try and make a pregnant girl who's afraid of octopussy, eat that, was so fucking foul. That was a fancy restaurant. Why about she throwing up? And I wouldn't have blamed her for throwing up. That wouldn't even been dramatic. The waiter had more grace and care for her than her own man. And she's like, let's buy stuff for the baby. And mind you, like, she lives in Cut Off, and he lives a little further out. Of course you're going to need two things. You're not going to transport a whole ass crib and stuff every single time you go back and forth. And he's like, psh, no. Probably because he wants to spend that money on, I don't even know, OF? Dude, trash that man. Give him to your mama. Well, your stepmama, because you killed your mom. Give him to your mama, because she wants him, and get the hell out.
Look at this. Look at her pushing that baby's head. Is there anything healthy about this?
Wish I could hit somebody with this bat, especially if I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Just a joke.
While Ryan didn't name names, I can only assume he is talking about Ken. I mean, who else would he be talking about? Certainly not Gypsy. But in true Ryan fashion, he said he was just joking because after he makes an insult, he always says, it's just a joke.
In my last video, I told you guys I had a tip that CPS was definitely involved. This is shocking behavior. So in this video clip, you can just see the way that she's holding the baby. She's bouncing the baby's head and seemingly blowing in her face or her nose. When I saw this, I was just immediately concerned. Also in the video, she says to the baby, you belong to me. I mean...
When will Gypsy finally take responsibility for her own actions? This isn't just about live streams or social media posts. It's about a dangerous cycle that keeps repeating itself. Gypsy avoids accountability, plays the victim, and relies on public sympathy to clean up her mess. But this time, the internet isn't falling for it. And if she keeps this up, that carefully rebuilt public image could come crashing down for good.
I had been hit with the question, how are you going to tell your daughter about what you did? I just want to know that she's going to forgive me for what I did in my past. Because I'm not a monster.
So Gypsy Rose did confirm they will be showing her baby in the show.
I want to protect her from the scrutiny of the public eye. And I know we have a show coming out. And even that, we're taking precautions to try and limit how much she is shown. Because we're doing everything we can to protect her.
However, they're taking precautions to protect her. Remember when Gypsy said they're not showing her at all? And then they said, oh no, we said we're not sharing her on social media. Then it was, we're not showing her face on social media. So they are going to share her. And the show's already wrapped, so.
No, I'm not going to show her. No, I made a choice a long time ago that I wasn't going to show her on social media. It's to respect her privacy. We're trying to keep her as private as we possibly can. You know, I said a long time ago, I'm not gonna try to be a mommy influencer. I'm not gonna try and post about her. That's just I mean, I'm a new mom. I'm protective of her. And there's just a lot of creeps out there,
So, E! News just dropped a bombshell that Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker are still at it. She's planning a wedding with her fiancé Ken, who, fun fact, she was once engaged to back in 2018. They broke up, got back together in 2024, and now here we are talking about their wedding plans. The big reveal, their 2-month-old daughter Aurora will be at the center of the event. No, she won't be making a dramatic speech or anything. She'll be the flower girl, according to Ken. But Gypsy's not ruling out the idea of Aurora also being the ring bearer, because why not throw in a little extra chaos to the mix, right? As for the wedding itself, don't expect any rushed decisions. According to the couple, there's no set date yet. The same couple that filed for divorce, got back together, and now, in 2024, is finally moving toward a wedding. But take note, they're taking their time. Ken says it's definitely at the forefront of our lives, though it's clear they've got bigger things to navigate, especially with their newborn and the pressure of being in the public eye. Gypsy even went on to explain the challenges of protecting her daughter's privacy. After Aurora was born, it seems everyone wanted a glimpse, but Gypsy made it clear, no photos. "We're not posting her face on social media," Gypsy told E! News, adding that fans and followers just weren't getting the message. "I'm the mother, and y'all should respect that decision," she said. And as for their support system, Gypsy seems to have found a somewhat supportive figure in her half-sister, Mia Blanchard, who just graduated nursing school and is apparently an expert on babies. Mia's not just helping Gypsy, she's also Aurora's godmother, making sure the family's priorities are in check. Or at least as much as they can be given the history, the whole thing's definitely a wild ride. But with Gypsy and Ken, I'm sure we're in for a few more twists and turns before they make it to the aisle. Stay tuned.
Oh, Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker are engaged? So this article just came out in E! News and it says Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker reveal role daughter Aurora will play in their wedding. Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her fiancé, Ken Urker, shared insight into their upcoming wedding and how their daughter Aurora will take part in an exclusive interview. Ken Urker's daughter will be front and center at their upcoming nuptials. The Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup star and her fiancé revealed how 2-month-old Aurora will take part in their future wedding. "She'll be our little flower girl," Ken told E! News, with Gypsy chiming in that she could also be the ring bearer. As for when we can see Gypsy walking down the aisle, the couple who first got engaged in 2018 but split in 2019 before reuniting in 2024 after Gypsy filed for divorce says that they aren't in any rush. "We're moving in that direction," Ken explained. "We don't have an exact date, but it is definitely at the forefront of our lives. It's something that we all want as a family, and eventually we'll get there, so just stay tuned for that. We have a child to protect and are trying to navigate our choices of parenthood on top of the stress of the public eye," Gypsy told E! For example, for the first few weeks after she was born, the public was trying to get a photo of her by any means. "We are not posting her face on social media. We said that a long time ago." Gypsy said a lot of people were like, "Show her," she recalled, and she responded, "No, I'm the mother and y'all should respect that decision." Gypsy and Ken emphasized that they would rather put that all aside, however, really hone in on the family dynamic, and the reality star couldn't be more grateful for her village, especially her half-sister, Mia Blanchard. "Everyone's been very helpful," she added. "My sister just graduated nursing school and she specializes in labor and delivery, so she knows a lot about babies. Along with being a support for Gypsy, she's also Aurora's godmother."
Forget what she said. Let's talk about what she's doing. Gypsy swore up and down that her baby would be shielded from the public eye, promising to protect her from the scrutiny of the internet and the cruelty of fame. Fast forward, and suddenly, that promise isn't looking so solid. Despite insisting she'd keep her child out of the spotlight, her actions are starting to say otherwise, and people are questioning what's really going on. When she first announced her pregnancy, Gypsy made it clear she wouldn't let the world have access to her daughter's life. She spoke about privacy, safety, and shielding her child from the same pressures she's faced in the industry. Her fans praised her for it, calling her a responsible mom who understood the dark side of fame. But now, it seems like she's had a change of heart. Either that, or her definition of privacy is a little different from everyone else's. So, what's really going on here? Did Gypsy genuinely rethink her stance as a mother, realizing she doesn't need to hide her child completely? Or is this another case of a celebrity using exclusivity and controlled exposure to build intrigue and, let's be honest, keep the brand rolling?
Once the baby's born, I really feel strongly that I don't want my baby to be in front of a camera. Unless it's for like home movies, I will not be putting my child in the media at all.
Why?
This world is so cruel and unsafe that there is a level of responsibility that I have to make sure that my child is protected.
She said no cameras, no public drama, no exposing her child to the world. That was Gypsy Rose Blanchard's vow, her promise to keep her baby far away from the spotlight. But fast forward, and it seems like that promise didn't last long. Reports are now surfacing about her newborn's health, and things are looking concerning. Allegedly, Gypsy's daughter has been showing symptoms eerily similar to her mother's rare genetic disorder, 1q21, one chromosomal deletion syndrome. Gypsy herself has spoken about her baby's unusual breathing patterns, which can be a red flag for the disorder. But here's the twist. Instead of immediately pushing for a definitive diagnosis, she's seemingly settled for just acknowledging the symptoms. And what's raising even more eyebrows? She hasn't opted for the most accurate test, chromosomal microarray analysis, CMA, which could give a clear answer on whether her child has inherited the same condition. The CMA test is hailed as the gold standard for uncovering genetic conditions like the one Gypsy's baby may be facing, a test that could unlock vital insights into the child's future health and potential risks. Yet, despite its importance, Gypsy has yet to take the crucial steps to confirm what's really going on. Is this a case of procrastination, or is there a deeper, more intriguing reason behind the delay? With whispers growing louder and speculation running wild, one thing is clear. Everyone's asking the same burning question. What's really holding her back? So, what do you think? Is Gypsy being unfairly targeted, or are these red flags too big to ignore? Sound off in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our uncensored celebrity breakdowns. Because trust me, with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the drama is far from over.